It was tied 1-1, and that game on Wednesday night, that definitely showed Padres fans that, here, we can go win this series. We can beat the Dodgers. Going in, I said we can beat the Dodgers, but I don't think it's right to expect to. But now, the situation that they're in, especially taking the 2-1 lead, I definitely expect them to beat the Dodgers now. And if they don't beat the Dodgers, it's probably going to be a disappointment. I know that in the regular season, or I think probably at the end of the regular season, I said, no, it'll be a success if they win the wild card series and they're competitive against the Dodgers. So if I stick to that, well, then the season's already a success. But now, when you have a 2-1 lead against the Dodgers and you're playing better than they are, and the starting pitching is clicking, the offense is clicking, yeah, they scored 2 runs tonight. That's not 7, but at Petco Park, I was expecting a lower run total, and that's what happened. They scored more runs than the Dodgers. That's what matters. So in my terms, the offense is clicking, in my view. As long as they score more than the Dodgers, the offense is clicking. The bullpen, again, shut the Dodgers out. That's 4 straight games that the bullpen has shut out their opponent in the postseason. Shut out the Mets on Sunday, Suarez and Hader. And then game one against the Dodgers, didn't allow any runs. That was Clevenger who gave up those runs. Game 2, obviously Suarez getting out of those jams and Hader getting out of the scoring position jams and all that. No runs allowed there. And then today, you had Nick Martinez coming after Snell. Snell pitched great, by the way. We'll talk about him. Nick Martinez, Luis Garcia, Robert Suarez, and Josh Hader combined for 3 2/3 scoreless innings tonight. Huge, huge performance by the bullpen. When Nick Martinez came in, made that athletic play off the mound, and he was fired up when he threw it over to first to Myers and got that out to end the inning. Garcia came in. Suarez, I think he allowed the first runner to reach base, but then after that, he was shut down. He shut down that Dodgers order. And then Josh Hader to come in the 9th. I was confident the game was going to be over there, but at that time, it was a 1-run game, 2-1. And you just don't know. You know, the Dodgers, they do have a lot of talent in that lineup. They didn't win 111 games for no reason, right? So you know that one home run or something can tie it up, and now it's like, oh no, now we still got to go win this game. But Hader was locked down in that the last batter that he faced. Or the second to last one, I think it was that changeup. That was nasty. I had to look back at it to see the changeup, how nasty it was, because where I was sitting in section 323, I'll be there tomorrow as well, you couldn't really see it. But that last batter, you didn't have to be close to see how much he blew away that last batter. I'm blanking on who was the last batter there, but just an amazing performance from the bullpen. Blake Snell tonight pitched great. I said on the pregame show, I'll take 5 scoreless innings from Snell like he did in his last regular season start against the Dodgers at Petco this year. He gave up 1 run, but hey, I'm fine. They scored 2 runs, the Padres did, and they won the game. That was good enough. And Snell, you probably should go in there expecting him to give up runs against the Dodgers. And for him to go 5 innings, pitch into the 6th, 5 innings like that, solid innings, gave up 1 run. And the 1 run that he gave up, it was on a sac fly. The first inning, let me just make sure I get these details right. But the first inning, he allows, I think it was Mookie, to reach base. And then he strikes out all 3 guys. All 3 outs in that inning were strikeouts. Strikes out Trey Turner. Betts got to second on the wild pitch. But then he strikes out Freeman looking, and then strikes out Will Smith. I believe it was on the check swing. Just nasty stuff from Snell right from the get-go. And then in that third inning I thought was huge. I'm going to always remember the pop-out that he got from Will Smith, popped out to Will Myers, bases loaded at that time, I believe, and he gets out of it. Yeah, in that third inning, walks Thompson, single to Barnes, and Freddie Freeman walks. So there was bases loaded there, and with 2 outs, gets Will Smith the pop-out, and that's right there. That's when I was like, okay, we're feeling good. Or I'm feeling good at least. Like the Padres, they can definitely go win this game. Because it's shaky there, right? Snell, sometimes he has that one blow-up inning. But that's not what happened tonight, right? So he limited the damage, definitely. Um, he limited the damage or he just didn't get any damage at all, right? Limiting the damage, the sack fly, the one sack fly, right? And or not allowing any damage at all. Damage, I guess, by allowing base runners and elevating his pitch count, but didn't allow any runs to score in that first and the third inning. I thought that was huge. And to have 5 innings like that and hand it off to the bullpen, they don't have to cover like 6 innings or anything like that. Uh, both the pitchers and the hitters did their jobs tonight. Both the starting pitchers and the relievers did their jobs tonight. So the starter and the relievers. It was just a great night overall. And obviously the offense, Crony coming through in that first inning, so happy for him. Obviously, anyone who knows me knows that my favorite player is Jake Cronenworth, and there were people in this series, it still boggles my mind. There were people that were actually debating online if Jake Cronenworth should start against the Dodgers in this series. Before this series started, should Brandon Drury be playing second base? And I'm like, are you kidding me? We shouldn't even be debating this. This guy plays every day for the Padres, middle of the lineup. He was an all-star this year. Don't forget that. Just because he had one bad series against the Mets doesn't mean that you bench him. And Baumel, guess what? He had faith in Trent Grisham going into that wild card series. How'd that play out? And it's still playing out, obviously, with the home run today. 3rd postseason home run already this postseason for Trent. Amazing. Staying with Crony after a bad wild card series, staying with Will. And how has that worked out? Pretty darn well, I would say. Crony having the big home run in Game 2, scoring the go-ahead run on the Profar single in Game 2. Because that made it, I think, 4-3 at that time. He did drive in the go-ahead run that made it, I think, 3-2 on Wednesday night at one point. Huge game from him the other night. And then today, to come up first inning like that, a good at-bat, single to center. I didn't know if I was going to drop just because my angle in Petco at the game, it just wasn't that great for that specific play. I like the seats, but it just wasn't that great for that specific play to see if it was going to drop or not. There were some plays down the right field corner that you just didn't see. The Grisham home run, for example, I didn't even see it land, but I just saw the trajectory and it was like, that's gone. And then obviously the reaction from the crowd and all that. By the way, the crowd went nuts when that happened. But yeah, I'm just glad Crony came through there. And Trent, this is just a story of not giving up, continuing to grind, having unwavering confidence. Maybe Trent's confidence wavered at some point this year, but for him to just flush it right down the toilet, for Baumel to flush it as well, because obviously he had faith in Grish, but for them to just flush it down the toilet, that regular season performance where he struck out like 30 times to end like September or whatever, just something terrible. Didn't get a hit in the second half of September at all. And then he got a couple hits in that Giants series. To have the hard hit ball, I think his first at bat off the first, and then to hit that homer, which ended up being the game-winning run, just huge. I mean, who's the Padres MVP in this postseason so far? For me, it's Trent Grisham. I mean, you could make the case for, Manny's come up pretty big in these some games, and he came up big defensively and a little bit offensively in that Mets series. You can make an argument for Robert Suarez or for, the bullpen in general. I guess you should probably give it to the bullpen, but one single player, you're probably not giving it to Joe, although, Game 3 against the Mets, it was huge. The winner go home, but the offense did score 6 runs for him. I'd probably give it to Grisham, because he's playing every day. 3 home runs. He had that great catch in Game 3 against the Mets. He's playing good defense. Yeah, I know he had that one ball that clanked off his glove in Game 2, but he had some good plays tonight, and obviously with the home run. And good comment here by Longball Prod here in the comments. Yes, Nola has been underrated. He's been good as well. He had the amazing throw in Game 2 against the Dodgers on Wednesday night. And against the Mets, Game 3, he had that go-ahead hit. Made it 2-0 at that time. That was huge. Good at bat, fouling off pitches outside the strike zone. And then, tonight, he's the one that's catching Snell, right? He's the one that's been catching every day. Blomels had the confidence in him to say, no, you're catching every day. I'm not putting Alfaro back here. I'm not putting Campy back here. You're the guy. You know, he's the one that's been catching the bullpen and dealing with pitch calm issues. Or Darvish wanted to use pitch calm for the first time at Dodger Stadium the other night, and it worked. And Nola was like, all right, we'll adjust to that. We haven't done that all year, but sure, I'll adjust to that. So, yeah, I agree. Nola's been underrated this year, or this postseason. Maybe not this year. I mean, he didn't have a tremendous year, but the postseason, Garish and Nola hitting 8-9, they've been two of the most valuable Padres, I think. Just an amazing night.